welcome back to Eastwick Cottage Garden. Today we're going to do a little bit of a little garden walk. I've been out of town for a few days. I've been camping with some friends, so I'll show some, if I can, show some pictures that I took atop a Ferris wheel. We went to Knoble's Amusement Park, which is in Elysburg, Pennsylvania. Any of the locals will know about that, and maybe some of the not so locals, but we had a great time. It was lovely spending time with friends. But we are back now, and I did a garden walk yesterday. I had to water a lot because it's been very dry. We are getting ready to be in the midst of a heat wave, so like a bad one. So things are going to be in like almost 100 degrees. It's going to feel over 100 with a heat index, so there will be very little gardening done this week. Definitely going to need to come out and water, but that's pretty much all that we're going to get done. We're going to do a little bit of a garden walk. I want to cut some flowers to have inside the house, and that is what we're going to do today. So come along with me. You can see here, poor Riley pup is already hot. It is only 9:30 in the morning, and we are going to be doing this quickly and then getting in the air conditioning, and that is what we're going to be doing for the day. We're going to start in the front border of the immersive garden space. I just wanted to point out that we do have some flowers on the Bath's Pink Dianthus, and there are some more buds happening there. So this is good. This is the most reflowers that I've gotten from trimming this back. So it's just very nice to see a couple of little cheery pink flowers showing themselves. We also started to get a second flush of the candy tuft from the trim back of that. So that is also very lovely. And down here in this space, the Liriope, the variegated Liriope is doing really, really well. So we're going to go into the immersive garden as soon as I can get the gate open. And we can see that the lavender is really blooming out, and it smells amazing, and it is covered with honeybees, just covered with them. So that is lovely. You have to be a little careful getting in here, but it's just really nice. It's so pretty. And you can see it through the gate, which is even prettier. So coming in here, I'm going to have to deadhead this Shasta daisy. This was the first one to bloom out. I'm going to have to give this a deadhead, but we will do this at a cooler time. And you can see that the Agastaki Paquito Orange is doing really, really well. I'm going to cut some of that today to bring it in. But you can see that the other Shasta daisies here, here, and here are starting to do their blooming. So I'm going to cut some of them for inside, which will be nice. And I'm also going to take some of these seed heads from the scabiosa, because they really do need to deadhead that. We will take care of that. But I wanted to show you our tomato plants and our pepper plants, which have gotten very large in the time we were away. And we even have some beefsteak tomatoes happening here. We have 3 already, which is lovely because I got none last year. So improvements. Fertilizing is great, and I just think that they're happier getting more sun. And we have some peppers forming. So this is the orange blaze pepper, and this is the purple beauty. So we have one of them coming down here, and some blooms starting up there on the top. We have a lot of blooms on this white cherry tomato, and also some cherry tomatoes forming. So that is very nice. And we have 2 that I've seen here on my most favorite tomato, the sun sugar tomato. And there were 2 on here. I don't know if I could see through here. Can we see that? Yeah, there's one here, and then there's one behind it. So that is very nice. So we'll have some tomatoes and peppers, hopefully, if everything continues on. So here we have just a lot of blooms that have happened, and are going to happen on this daylily, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love the way it feels. It's very thick and kind of leathery. I just love the texture of it. And coming back to the flower box the flower pot that we did in the back here, you can see that the salvia is blooming very well. And so is the Biden's Campfire Marshmallow. I did come back and pinch more of the coleus to have it have a bushier habit. So if your coleus is getting leggy, just like pinch off the top so you can see where I pinched here, and then we have new shoots coming up here. Like you could see definitely like here, I pinched the top here, and we're getting more bushy format coming out. So, and you could do that pretty much any time, and it'll start getting bushier. If you didn't know that, a lot of people do. But if you didn't know, now you do. Okay, so our black-eyed Susans here are doing really well. They're about 2 feet tall, so that is nice to see on either side. Our apricot fudge Asiatic lily is done, so I hopefully will get some more blooms next year. But you can see inside the space here, I need to cut back the phlox, so hopefully we get another flush of that. But here's a big green twister echinacea, and there's one here too, so you can see how the outer petals are green, and they're going to have a purple, like a reddish pinkish center, and these are going to twist a bit, so you can see how they're kind of twisty. I don't know if you can see them, how they're a little bit twisty, so that's why they call it green twister. So they're doing well, and I think these are down here are the double scoop orange berry. I have one here and here, and you can see the balloon flower are putting on they're starting to bud up, and then they will burst open with a beautiful blue color. And here the Heliopsis, or false sunflower, it's a variegated one. This one is called double struck, I think it's what it's called, but you can't get it anymore. There's different kinds, but this is a shorter variety, and I can't find it anymore. And I looked it up; it doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. But this is the Heliopsis, or false sunflower, and it's called double struck. Coming out of the space, slow around, turn slowly. We could see that our little lime hydrangea is starting to put out its flower, the panicles buds. So that's doing well. That's about, I guess, 2.5 feet tall. Eventually it's going to get 4 to 5 feet tall. I'm just going to bring these in so they're not on the other side of the fence. Eventually it's going to be 4 to 5 feet tall. And that is going to be very nice to fill this space at the back of the garden. Oh, I see I have a pokeweed that needs to come out. Yep, got to work on that. The rose bush in the corner here is continuing to flush out. The knockout roses have done they're finished their first flush. They are self-cleaning, so you don't have to really, unless you're really picky about it, don't have to really worry about deadheading them. They will self-clean and then flush out again a lot in the spring. I'm hoping that it puts up some really nice rose hips. So I'm going to leave the buds on here because I would like to have some rose hips for arrangements in the fall and winter. Here we go with our other red daylily, and we have the stalks of it is beard tongue penstemon. The stalks of the penstemon, so I actually might cut these back because they're dying back and not looking great. So this one's called Mystic. This penstemon's called Mystic. So anybody that has this can you give me some guidance on what to do with the stalks of the penstemon? I'd love to hear it, because the foliage down here has died back. I know it's going to reflush, but this is my first experience with it actually blooming, so I'm not sure. So anybody that has penstemon, please let me know. And I might actually just cut it back so then we can see more of this Asiatic lily that is doing its thing and looking very spectacular. So I might do that. But I'd love to hear your feedback regarding what to do with penstemon after it has finished blooming, because I'm a novice. Okay, they're doing some jackhammering, so if you can hear that in the distance, I'm not sure what that's all about. But here we have I just noticed this was not here yesterday, our first bloom of our peach daylily. So that is lovely, with a lot more blooms on the way. Loving that. I have to cut back the seed head of this iris. I did fertilize the mock orange, and they seem to be greening up as a result of that, so I'm happy about that. So hopefully it'll put on some growth throughout the summer. I did deadhead it a bit to bring it down below the fence line and to give it a chance to bush out. And I think I see some more. This is new growth here, which that is wonderful. You can see down the long border that we just have the daylilies who are now blooming. Coming into the front border space, we have the border that we've been working on a lot here. Remember, this is the no dig, no till bed that we did. What do we have that's new here? The herbs that we planted are growing very quickly. So this is our purple sage, barbecue rosemary, and lemon thyme. The Live and Easy rose, the blooms that were there are now gone, but we have another bud happening here, so excited about that. And we have our zinnias that are blooming. Hopefully you can hear me over the jackhammering. That is like a block and a half down, but hopefully you can hear me over that. And our dianthus here is blooming. Sorry for the shadow. And we can see here, and I'll show you on the other one because there's more. This is our starship lobelia, and that is starting to bloom, which is very exciting. We put some fertilizer on the gardenia. It still looks a bit peaky, but I will come and water it again tonight. But it is greening up a little bit more. It's not as yellow and horrifically sad. There's weeding that needs to be done, so don't look too closely. But this is this garden space. As it is starting to grow out more, and the veronica that we planted are doing really well. The coreopsis is in full bloom, but you can see the lobelia here looking very lovely, and I love it. Let's see if I can catch this on camera. That dark blue, I need a little more sunlight up against the green of the Sunjoy barberry. Oh my goodness, that's loud. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. So I wanted to show you guys a update on the crazy stem on the daylily that I got from the back. It's like a triple stem. It grew so much in the few days I was away. It is now probably about 3 feet tall. But look how wild this is. It's like a ribbon of a stem, but it is splitting out at the top. So we'll see what we get. Very interesting, very interesting. So here in the maple border, this peony's looking great. Foliage-wise, haven't gotten any blooms, but we are getting more blooms on the geum here. And we have a bunch of blooms here on our back and black sedum. And all of the daylilies in the front here are blooming now. Even the one that I was kind of worried about is now in full bloom, so that is lovely. And I just love the color. These are, you can see it more, it's called Delicious Candy Echinacea, and I will be cutting some of these to bring in the house. But you can see how the bed is forming, and this week I am putting an order in for mulch so we can mulch these things out. And this echinacea, I don't remember what it is. It has a little bit of powdery mildew, but I don't remember what it is. It was in the Immersive garden space and wasn't doing well at all. So I moved it out here last year, and it's actually the first time it bloomed. I'd forgotten what color it was, but it is doing much better in the front here. So I think this is the space for it. And here in the grape or orchard border, things are doing well overall. I need to come and trim back these a little bit. This is the Artemisia silver mound, which is doing great. It has not split yet. So this is great. So I'm going to trim it back again so it doesn't continues not splitting. Now these poor little sad salvia, I got these from a nursery last year, and they did really well last year, but I think they're not doing so great this year. But I'll show you further down, the ones that I got from Bluestone Perennials that I planted later are doing really, really well. So I think I might order 3 more and maybe replace these. Because last year, they struggled a bit last year towards the end of the season as well. So I think I'm going to replace them. And here we have one of the fresco apricot echinaceas that is being backed by our Coronation Gold yarrow that has been doing so well for so many weeks. I'm going to be cutting some of this for the flower arrangement. And down here we have the double scoop orangeberry echinacea that is very, very pretty. I might cut one of them, maybe, if I can handle it. Maybe I'll leave it, maybe I'll cut it. I don't know. We'll see how my willpower is. I think it might get cut. They're so pretty, I can't help it. So you can see here, these are the salvia that I got from Bluestone Perennials, and they're looking much more healthy in their space. And this is the Paint the Town Red dianthus that we trimmed back and is starting to put on another bloom cycle, which is wonderful. And here, oh, I forgot to show you this. So here, this is our little galaxy agapanthus, and look at all the bloom stalks on it. This one's doing well. There's one hidden back here that is still green, but is not blooming. But this one on the front here, on this side, also has some bloom stalks on it, if you can see that. So very excited about this. And this is one of our 4 popcorn drift roses. It's done its major flush, but you can see there's one bloom there, and there's a little bud as well coming up. So it'll continue to bloom throughout the summer. And the birds are absolutely loving the bird bath with the bubbler, especially the robins. They take deep dives in here and get all cleaned up. It's really fun to see. And here on the back side of the grape orchard border, we have more of this phenomenal lavender coming into bloom, and I think it looks really, really pretty mixed in with the yarrow. And here is the echinacea that I have no idea which kind it is, that we transplanted from, we rescued it from the middle, the belly of the beast of the yarrow. And I always forget to show you guys this little, this is the grape border, the orchard area. Ha! All right, everyone, look at this. This, if you can see it, where am I? Right there, is a spotted lanternfly nymph. It's about to be ended. I'm gonna go in and get Dawn dish soap in water in a spray bottle will kill them, but you need to spray them from behind because they jump forward and they will jump at your face. Not in a bad way, but they're just dumb and that's how they work. But it's going to be ended soon. So this is like the first stage. They're black and white, and then they turn like red and white, and they're still nymphs. They can't fly, they can only jump, and then they morph into the spider lantern, the adult that has the wings, and they can fly and jump, which is horrendous. They're going to decimate everything. And it's on my grapevine, and that's what they like to eat. So we're going to end this little guy. Okay, so, but I do have grapes here. If I had gloves on, I'd smash it with my hand. We do have grapes coming here, so hopefully we'll have some grapes this season. An update on Lazarus the fig. He is doing well. Really, this is wonderful. I'm very glad to see the progress on him. Our lone plum is still doing well, starting to put on a little bit of color, so that is exciting. And speaking of color, here on our wild black raspberries, they are coloring up very nicely. So I'm going to put a netting over here, and I think I just thought about it while I was walking over here, to put a netting over the grapevine so that the spider lanternflies can't get on it. But to put a netting over here so that the birds don't eat this. And on this side, for a fall gold raspberries, we still have our, we still have our flower buds for this, and we're getting more down in here. So that is very lovely to see. Very lovely to see. Our the pilgrim rose is growing very quickly. Soon it will be able to be attached to the fence. I don't see any more flower buds, but it is definitely putting on some height. And over in this bed, which needs to be weeded desperately, we have the beginnings of our cherry brandy rudbeckia, which I didn't expect to bloom so early. I thought they were going to bloom closer to the fall. But we also have some of the cosmos in here, looking great. So I'm really liking how this bed is shaping up, minus the weeds. And the honeysuckle is still honeysuckling and smells absolutely divine. Our peach tree is looking a lot healthier. Most of the peach leaf curl leaves have come off. We still have one peach dangling on here. I think the peaches that didn't get very big, I think they didn't get fertilized, so I will probably be adding another peach tree and another plum tree just so that they can have a pollinator pair. But it is looking very healthy otherwise, which I'm happy about that. I saved the shady area for last. And in this area, things are pretty much the same, except we have a lot of flowers on our wintergreen. So that is wonderful, because this is my first time growing it, and I really have no idea what I'm doing with it. But it's great to see that it's blooming. All three of them are blooming the same way. It's very nice to see that. And it feels so wonderful here in the shade. It honestly feels about 10 degrees cooler. My brother was over the other day, and I was giving him a garden tour, and it kind of saved this area, you know, toward for the last. When we walked around behind the shed and got into this space, he was just like, oh, because it feels really, really good, especially with the breeze. It's like a totally different place here. Anyway, so I just wanted to point out that our ghost fern is doing well. It definitely needs a lot of water. This definitely is a dry shade area, so I do have to keep putting water on this until it's established. Everything else, though, in this area has been here for a few years, or at least a year, and is doing very well. Other than our Electra heuchera that we planted together, which are doing very well. I do put some water on them, but they're looking lovely. And you can see, let's see if I can zoom in, if you can see that. I don't know, it's not really picking up on camera, but there is, let me see if this one will do better. It's not really picking up, but there's red veining, and it's doing the right thing. This new camera software that I'm using doesn't necessarily pick up things the way the regular iPhone does, so I might switch back to the regular iPhone video. We'll see though. Anyway, but this is the woodland garden area, doing very lovely, being very cool. Here's our Shadowlands Shadowlands Wee hosta, and this is the cherry berry hosta, and I love them both. This is our carnival coffee bean heuchera, and here is the hydrangea, the bloomstruck hydrangea that we transplanted. Thank you all for your advice and encouragement regarding the hydrangea. She is looking a lot better, very green now. The remaining leaves are holding. There's still a couple of crispy leaves, but they were from before. So she gets dappled sun and then like more direct evening sun, but it's softened by the trees that are around. So like the privet and the Kwanzaa cherry tree. And then we have here, I should start introducing this because we're going to start getting some blooms. This is our Rose of Sharon. So even some shading from that. So. Okay, so that is where we're going to end the garden walk. I think it actually turned into more of a full garden tour. I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you so much for all of your support and encouragement and comments and suggestions. Very helpful. I appreciate it very much. I love this community. We are 400 strong. We have 400 subscribers, so thank you very, very much for everyone subscribing and joining the party. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you have a great week. I hope that you are safe. If you are out gardening in this heat, please be safe. Please be smart. Hydrate yourself. Do your stuff in the early morning or late in the evening. Don't, as I said, it's just gardening. It's not fighting a battle. So just make it fun. Play it safe. I will probably be putting up a couple of shorts, but we'll not be doing any full gardening this week in this heat. So take care, be safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.